Hi, it's Patty from PS Paper Crafts. Thanks for joining me today. I'm using the Love of Leaves stamp set and stitched leaves, and actually my main thing is the stitched leaves. To make this card, I'm using the in colors, everything except for the blue. I love these colors. I think they're great for fall, and I actually had a challenge to use at least 3 of the in colors. There's 5 of them. On a card, so I thought, well, I'll make a wreath. And actually this week I am featuring wreaths. I love wreaths and the fall and all of that, so I figured, well, every day this week I'll be making a wreath. It will either be a video or a blog post. So yesterday I made this one, this card, and it's using feathers from the Beautiful World bundle. And then I have some of the scripty embossing folder on the background. So 2 different, completely different looks, same kind of idea, but different pieces. And then if you stay tuned tomorrow on my blog, and then Friday I'll have a video as well. So anyway, let's get started. I just love these leaves. I actually cut everything out except for one leaf because I wanted to show you. But aren't they pretty? You can cut out the leaf and you can put this inside in it. So the leaf itself is stitched, and then you can get this stitched, the veins of the leaf as an embossed look. And these will cut out actually the stamped images. So you can stamp and cut, you could just cut, or you can cut and include these the veins of the leaves. So I think they're really pretty. On the inside I did just stamp a few leaves, and this stamp set has kind of highlights in it, so it's really very pretty. I love it. So I love everything about this. So I've been using it quite a bit. There's also this piece which I haven't used yet, but you can actually put this across a card and just have it embossed. It doesn't cut, it just embosses. So I love that these dies do embossing as well. So let's get started. The very first thing I'm going to do is cut my last green. This is just jade. I'll cut my last leaf so you can see what it looks like. So let me get my new Stampin Cut and Emboss machine. So this is the brand new machine. It's not available till September 1st unless you're a demonstrator. So I did get it and I got to play with it. So it's really neat because it has the plates numbered, and it tells you if you're doing a die cut to place the cutting edge down, and then you want to make your sandwich with a 1, which is this, the base. And that also has instructions. And then I want a 2, which is for cutting dies. And then I want 2 3s, so I'm going to put a 3 down. I love that they're numbered. And then I'll put my my paper, my cardstock, and I'll put the die. So I'm going to just take these 2 pieces so I can cut it all at once. And I like to put it down and just kind of move the outside around. And if you wanted to put a piece of post-it note or something down just to hold it in place, you can. I didn't do that. And then you put another 3 plate down. So it makes it very easy. And then you just run it through. So I'll just run it through my machine. I'm going slow so I don't shake too much. And you'll hear that pop. So we have our 4th leaf, and it's all embossed, and let's put this aside. So I had a lot of leaves on this paper. So we'll put this back, and we're done with our cutting. That was fast and easy, right? So the next thing I'll do is I actually have some circles, and I used the layering circles. I wanted to have a base to put this on before I put it down on my cardstock. So I built my wreath around this circle here. And I used the layering circles. So I used the 3rd largest for this one. Nope. That's the 2nd largest. The 3rd largest for this one. And then I used the 5th and 6th for these 2. So that's, I always use my layering circles and layering ovals and things like that. So let's get this started. The first thing I want to do is actually snip off the ends. So if you went out too far, you would go off the card. So you want to make sure. And I didn't want to have too much bulk in here, so I just went and snipped off the ends of my leaves. So I know this hurts, right? So you want to make sure that you're going to have it not too far out. So I just went, and maybe I'll snip off a little less, and just snip off all of your brown, the cinnamon cider. And then you want to just make sure that, you know, you're not going off your card with these. And you don't have to snip as much on the other ones. And then the green I did this way, so if I went out too far, so I'm just going to really snip off the ends of this. So one, and you don't have to do this. I just thought that it might be too bulky in the middle. So let's start by putting these down, and then we can continue. So I'm going to use my liquid glue, and I really want to have this here so I can kind of judge how far I want to go with it. So I'm just going to put a little liquid glue and stick it up there, and just kind of lay them all out. So I had these kind of longer ones to go out to the point because I have a little bit more play there. So once you get these done and the green, you don't need to have your card laying on your base anymore. So I think that looks pretty good. And then we'll do our green, and then we can take it from there. So you just want to make sure that you want to make sure it fits in the envelope. That's the key. Okay, so I'm just going to lay these out real quick. So that's over a little bit too far. And aren't these colors so pretty? They're nice and rich, and perfect for fall. Okay, so that one's a little bit over. Okay, and one more of these. And you could use whatever adhesive you want. Now the top and the bottom one, actually you can move the circle around, so it's not bad. So I'm going to take this off here, and actually I'll put it on my mat here just so I don't get any more glue anywhere. I did get a little bit of glue on here, but that'll be covered, so not a problem. So then you want to put these down, and I put kind of two of these together. And you can cut the ends of these off as well if you want. You just don't want to have too much bulk. So let's put these down. Okay, and then we will put these down. This is the Magenta Madness. So we have Just Jade, Bumblebee, Cinnamon Cider, and then the Magenta Madness, which just gives it, you know, it's not really a fall color, but it's pretty to give it just a pop of color. And let's make sure our circle is going to be good here. So maybe we want to move this up a little bit. And we'll put all of these down. And using the liquid glue makes it nice because you can move it around a little bit so that you have a little bit of play with it. Okay, Okay, so that looks good. So now I'm going to just stamp my sentiment, and the sentiment I'm using is I thought of you today. I love that sentiment. It's a little bit different than thinking of you. It's actually I thought of you today. So we'll stamp this in the cinnamon cider. We'll just put that aside, and I'm going to stamp it a little bit toward the top, just a little bit, so I can put those nice gems underneath it. And we'll close this up, and let's just put this aside and continue with our stamping. So I'm going to stamp on the inside a bumblebee leaf. Let me just put this away for a second. And this really reminds me of a spade in cards, either a heart or a spade. Every time I see it, that's what I think of. So we'll do a bumblebee. And then we'll do a just jade. And let me just get a piece of scrap for this because I want to go off the page a little bit. So this is the other leaf. And see how that is? I love the look. So I'm going to stamp, and then I'm going to lift, and I'm just stamping again to get a lighter shade, which I actually like the lighter shade better, I think. But that's okay. So we have our inside done. Let's put this aside, and then we can adhere this to the circle if I can find it. Where did I put that circle? Oh, it's right here, right in front of me. So I'll adhere this down right to the circle. Get it nice and centered. And then I'm going to pop this up. And actually, before I do that, let me put these down. So let's put this down. This goes, this is 4 by 5.5, so it goes top to bottom with just a little bit on each side. Sometimes it's nice to change up your layers a little bit. So I want to go top to bottom and just kind of make it the same on each side. And it looks like I'm hanging over a little bit, so I will cut that off with my trimmer when I'm done. So let's get this down. So on this one, I'm just going to put adhesive on the circle, and then I can, how did it go? So you want to make sure that you place it the same way that you put things together, so it's not hanging over on the wrong way. So it's kind of a oval, maybe more than a circle, but I think it's great. And then I'll pop this up with dimensionals. I think 4 will do. And we can put this on, and then I'll add some gems and the ribbon. I love the ribbon. So there we go. And the ribbon is the embroidered ribbon, and I just love the colors of it. I think it's just really beautiful. And I want to make a little bit of a longer ribbon or bow than I normally would make, because I want it to hang down since there's a little bit more white on the bottom of the card. So I am using Very Vanilla instead of Whisper White. I usually use Whisper White, but I thought for these nice warm fall colors, the Very Vanilla would be prettier. You could use whichever one, it doesn't really matter. And we'll just fuss with this a little bit. And let me just get in here. Okay. Let me get my ribbon scissors, and we'll just cut off some here. That looks about right. And hold it together to try to get it a little even. And we also want to put our gems on. So these are the Actually, they're enamel dots. So these are the in color. These are all the in colors. So this is the blue Misty Moonlight is what it's called. It just came to me. I wasn't thinking of it before. And on these, they seem to come apart sometimes. So try to get underneath it. And I like to do the middle one first. And then do this one. And one more. And you could pick whatever color you want. You don't have to do the magenta madness. Okay, and then we will put a glue dot on the back of this ribbon. So I'll just peel one off and put it back here on the back of the bow. And I'll adhere that down a little bit low. Isn't that pretty? And then we'll just put some adhesive on the back of this, and the card is done. It's pretty quick once you get all the leaves cut out. I mean, that did take some time, but not that long. And I think it was well worth it. I really think the card is pretty. So let's get this down. This one is long too. I must have cut these wrong. So I'm going to just step away and run this through my paper trimmer. And I will be right back to finalize it. Okay, so I'm back. So these are the two cards. I think they're really beautiful. I love this stamp set, and mostly I love the dies. I think they're really gorgeous. So anyway, stay tuned for tomorrow where I'll make another wreath, and then again on Friday. So today's Wednesday, and you'll just see some varieties of wreaths. So thanks for joining me, and you guys have a good day. Bye.